All righty. Welcome, Lisa. I am so excited to have you here. For anyone who's watching, I'm going to start off by giving you a little disclosure. Lisa and I met in Sedona in 2024. I think it was October 2024,
Yep.
when we went on a women's trip together. And Lisa and a number of others are a testament to the power of a women's trip, because we have probably almost spoken every day since, in some capacity, whether we've sent messages or chatted or sent video calls or anything. We both work in the travel industry, so we obviously have a lot in common, but we clicked straight away, and we've been friends ever since. And I'm really excited to have Lisa here, because she today is going to talk all about Croatia as a destination, but she's also running a women's trip to Croatia in September this year, and I am going, and I'm beyond excited about it. I first went to Croatia many moons ago when I was living in London doing the working holiday visa thing that so many Australians do, and I spent a week there sailing on a Sail Croatia trip. It was very budget, but it was very amazing, and I've been dying to go back. So I'm very excited to be going, but I'm also really excited to hear from Lisa about Croatia as a destination, because you've recently been.
Correct.
With your family, and you certainly saw more of Croatia than what I did as a 23-year-old who was probably having more fun than seeing a country. So I'm going to start off by handing over to you to share a little bit about who you are, what you do, where you come from, all of that, and then we'll get stuck into talking about Croatia.
Perfect. Thank you, Erin. Again, I feel so happy that we met, and grateful for modern technology so that we could do this. And look, we're orchestrating trips so we can see each other again, since we're so far apart. But I'm Lisa from chasingmemories.co. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and I focus on helping you with travel mishaps, essentially. So if you have a flight delay, cancellation, what are your rights? What are things that will help you? And I also specialize in travel insurance, and I've started hosting some women's group trips. So I'm excited to talk about Croatia. I love it.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So let's get stuck into it. So Croatia has, I think, had a bit of a rise in interest over the last few years. And I think it's always been a destination that people have been curious about, but some people don't necessarily go the extra mile, or kind of go, oh, is it safe, or is it this, or is it that, or what is it really actually like? So I am hoping that from this interview, people who are watching can understand what Croatia is actually like as a place to go for a holiday, and hopefully add it to people's bucket lists or places, that they want to go to, and have a bit more of an understanding of what they can actually do and see and what to expect when they get there. So let's start off. Maybe I might even get you to start off by talking a little bit about where Croatia actually is. Like, if we were flying into Croatia, you're coming from America, so that's a bit more difficult, but maybe talk about its location in terms of Europe.
Okay. So it is, I don't know how to describe that. Essentially, it's maybe considered like the southeast section of Europe. So most people know where Italy is. And if you go all the way down to the bottom of Italy, Croatia would be southeast of that. So it sits right on the Adriatic Sea. It kind of has interesting geographic boundaries for the country. We joke that it looks like a crocodile's mouth. So you definitely have lots of parts of land, but then you also have this whole amazing part on the Dalmatian Coast, I think is how they say it.
Yeah, and it's one of the Balkan countries, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
So Balkan, not Baltic, Balkan. which
correct.
So, and I think that term or that reference, Balkan countries, is becoming a little bit more known. And I think even one of the neighbouring countries, Albania, is also coming up on people's places of, list of places to go as well.
Yeah, it's surrounded by a few that are becoming, like Slovenia. It borders Slovenia, and that's now becoming a really popular destination. So
yeah, absolutely. So it's not just Croatia you need to see. You need to go beyond Croatia and see.
Exactly.
We just want to go everywhere. Okay, so I've got my questions here in front of me. I'm going to read from them because otherwise I'll miss things. But yeah, going back to its like increasing awareness, people being more aware of Croatia, I think has partly stemmed from people exploring further, but also the Game of Thrones. There were parts of that were filmed there. And people know about Dubrovnik, I think. I don't even know. I think it's probably been on some of those like travel shows recently. I have heard more people talking about Dubrovnik. And I have to say, Dubrovnik is one of my favourite cities I've ever visited. I just absolutely love it. But tell me why you think Croatia is a great place to visit, and maybe even touch on why it's a great place for women to visit. And I guess I probably should have prefaced this by saying that this interview is being shared in my Travel Her Way group, so it's just full of Aussies who want to travel. So yeah, you're talking to women.
Perfect. Yeah, talking to women.
Just kind of keep that in mind, and when you're sharing.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So speaking of women travelers, one thing, so I went, the first time I went there, I was with my family and had my children who were 12 and under. And I was worried about, like, would I feel comfortable, A, with my kids there, and B, like, exploring on my own? Like, if my husband was, back at the Airbnb while the kids were sleeping or something, would I be comfortable? What I found is that Croatia is incredibly safe. Like, it is such a safe country. There are a few places where we saw some graffiti, and in America, that is a sign of like gang activity. But in Croatia, it is that they are over the moon about their soccer team, or you call it football, right?
Yeah.
So they're such big fans.
No, we're soccer. We are soccer.
Yeah, they are just obsessed with their soccer, but it is so safe. So that was one thing that I absolutely loved. I did have one time that I went for a walk to run to the grocery store really quick at like 11 o'clock at night, and I did not feel an ounce of worry at all. So I think for women travelers, like, safety is a big thing. And it's incredible. So, and the tour guide that I have met and will use for this upcoming trip, he is local. He's born and raised in Croatia, and he himself was like, oh no, you won't have any safety issues here. If you do, it would be because a tourist is doing something, and every Croatian man would pounce on that person and take care of it for you. So it was great to hear. Now, I'm not a Game of Thrones person. I've never seen it. However, we did go to some of the highlight areas where some of the filming was, just because it was top rated areas, and it is gorgeous. I think what Croatia really has to offer is it's got this really neat mix of land versus ocean. Like, there's a lot of islands off of Croatia that are included in the country, and there's also amazing national parks with waterfalls, and so you just have like this huge diversity. You have some larger cities, some medium-sized cities, and then you just have the history. Like Dubrovnik, the history in Dubrovnik is incredible. So there's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. And that's awesome, but it also can sometimes become hard when you only have a limited amount of time.
When you're trying to plan, exactly.
And how to choose where to go and what to do. So let's imagine that we had 2 weeks.
Okay.
How would you recommend someone spend 2 weeks in Croatia? Because I think, like, for us coming from Australia, you probably wouldn't go to Europe for any less than 2 weeks, because obviously it's a long way to fly. So how yeah, how if I was flying in for 2 weeks on a family trip or a solo trip or a group of friends, because I think it would be an epic destination for a group of friends to go.
Yes.
How would I spend it? What would you recommend?
So I would recommend starting in Zagreb. That's inland a little bit. It's the capital. It's a little bit of a larger city. There's lots to offer there. I would start there, and over those 2 weeks, I would work my way down to Dubrovnik. So along that path, you're going to hit some of the most famous national parks outside of Zagreb. Like on your way from Zagreb to Split, you'll find Krka National Park. Also, I cannot say it correctly, no matter how hard I tried. Like Plitz. Yeah,
that'll do.
Plitz Lakes National Park. So you'll hit those, and so that gives you, especially in the beginning, that's why I would start with Zagreb. You get like more of the inland feel with all of the national parks, which I think is fantastic. Then as you go down, that section, my group trip's going to focus between Split and Dubrovnik for about 9 days. And that really gives you the opportunity to be on the water and to experience some of those islands, do some of the island hopping. Because for me, Croatia's beauty is like the water is absolutely stunning. The beaches are rocky. They don't have sand beaches, but the beauty of that is that you don't have any sand like mucking up the water. And so the visibility is so
I did not
clear.
know where you were going with that. I thought you were going to say that you don't have sand everywhere.
Oh, well, that's
in all the places that you don't want it.
Yeah, even my kids actually loved that. At first, when I told them there were no sand beaches and they were just all like pebbles, they were like, that's weird. And then 5 minutes in, they're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my kids still played with the pebbles like it was sand.
Yeah. I didn't even think about what that doesn't do to the water, and that being part of the reason why it's so crystal clear and beautiful. Ah, cool.
It's cool. Yeah. I love it. So I love being on the water. I would see if you could mix. Now the trick is the sailing now primarily, unless you find someone who has their own boat, they do all of their sailing trips in week-long, segments. And that's so that the locals and their businesses, they don't lose money by someone who books for 2 days and then they can't fill the other 5 days. So everything is a week rental. So if you have that opportunity, I'd spend a week doing the national parks and then do a week sailing as well.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did. I spent a week sailing, and we sailed from Split to Dubrovnik, which was absolutely amazing. But you do spend a lot of time out on the water, and you come in at night, and we had, I don't know like maybe 4 or 5 hours where we'd stop later in the day at a certain spot and then go out to sea. So we didn't really have a huge amount of time stopping in the towns on the way. And so we had an amazing time, and it was absolutely beautiful. But I don't really feel like we saw a lot of Croatia, if you know what I mean.
I like it the other way, where you have more time on land, and then you can choose how much time you want on the water.
Yeah. I mean, I think in an ideal world, if you had enough time to kind of do what you said, start in Zagreb, maybe even 3 weeks would be nice. That would be ideal, because then you could also do the slow travel, which is I think so much better, and not feeling so rushed. Zagreb, do the national parks, do the inland, go down the coast, or on land.
Yeah.
So you can enjoy the towns along the way, and then maybe do sail back up. Can you sail both ways? I mean, that sort of seems,
I think so.
Like, why wouldn't you be able to?
Right. I know. I'm like, I don't actually know the answer to that question. Okay, but if I had 3 weeks, I would actually start in Slovenia. And then explore Slovenia for a week, then hit Zagreb, then go down to Dubrovnik.
Yeah. But we're just talking about Croatia.
I know, right? I know. They're so close. I would add Slovenia in there.
I know. But I also want to go to Albania. So you just need to add another week at each end, and That's how it happens.
I know. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yep, it really
Dream.
would. Yeah, dream, exactly. Okay, so all right. Okay, food, wine, and culture. Because I think Croatia is known for its landscapes. I think it's known for, the sailing, the island hopping, the outdoors. But how does the food, wine, and culture scene fit into Croatia? And is that part of it? I mean, yeah, I love all of that, food and wine and culture. So when I go traveling, I like to go to places where that is part of the experience. But I also know that in some countries it's not necessarily a big part of the experience, but is that something in Croatia that people could look forward to?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the beauty of the food in Croatia is that they have access to incredibly fresh fish. And I have a kid who does not eat fish, and she loved everything else that she had in Croatia. So if you're not a fish lover, you're gonna be just fine. I mean, we still talk about some of the restaurants that we ate there last year when we were there, because they're just incredible. But two things I want to highlight. One, and this is kind of a lesser known spot for there, is Stone, and it is about an hour. Well, it's in between Split and Dubrovnik if you're driving there by land, and it's about an hour 45 minutes from Dubrovnik. It's a very small town, but they do have like their old city walls that you can walk on, and that's kind of nice to do that there versus Dubrovnik. But also they have this like peninsula that is the freshest oysters. Well, they claim that it's like the freshest oysters in the world. Apparently, like the top Michelin star chefs from New York City were trying to get their oysters imported to New York, and the Croatians were like, no way, because then you would ruin the freshness of them. So I'm not an oyster person, but I am adventurous enough to try. And all they did, like they cut them open, they cleaned them, they took us around on the boat, they showed us how you harvest them, how they grow. They had cleaned some ahead of time because that process, I guess, takes a while. But then they just cracked them open right there, squeezed some lemon on it, and they were incredible. Like they were nothing like the oysters we've tried in America. So they were so fresh. The other thing we tried was calamari. And in America, the only way we get calamari is cut in like little circles and fried. And this was like the whole squid, and it was just grilled fresh, and it was amazing. Like, we'll never eat calamari in America again, ever. No. It was so good. Wine, they actually have a lot of wine country between Stone and Dubrovnik that is kind of part of their wine country. So that's a great spot as well if you like that. And the culture, the old towns have so much culture. It's really fun to see.
Yeah. And I think for people who haven't experienced an old town with like the old city walls, it is such a unique experience. And it's like it really just, I don't know, like I mean, we don't have anything like that here.
No, and neither do we in America.
Yeah, like to see that, like even, I mean, I've been to lots of places that have them, but it still blows my mind, and it almost makes, I'm a very visual learner. So, when I see that, I kind of go, wow, that's actually what that was like, or that's how people live.
Exactly.
It's insane to think, but it's also so beautiful. Like the buildings are so well, like the walls are so well built, and there's so much they just tell such an incredible story about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And they've been there for thousands of years, and it's cool to see. And in Dubrovnik it's built on such a steep landscape. Yeah. It's just incredible to realize that they built these cities like thousands of years ago, and they're still functioning.
Yeah, I know.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah. That's cool. Okay. Oh, you're getting me excited. Okay,
September,
tell me.
we'll be there.
Yeah, I know. All right, so tell me, when you got home from your trip, tell me what your number one thing is that you raved about.
The
When you
water.
the water. Yeah.
The water, the food, and just I think the culture. Like we really loved the culture of it. We were kind of blown away. We've done a lot of travel. We've done a lot of countries, and this would absolutely be in my top 3.
Well, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also, like, I know that you had an amazing guide as well.
Yes.
And I think that when you travel to different places and you meet local people who are so passionate about their country, I think that adds to the experience, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. And actually I can get information from my local guide if any of your women want to do that. He's going to be with us for a large part of our trip, but he also, this is his business. So he helps people plan and organize, and his pricing is better than a lot. We quickly developed our own phrase called, his name's Roby. Roby knows best because we would go to a restaurant. He wasn't with us our whole trip, but we would go to a restaurant that we had Googled that was like amazing reviews. And we went and we're like, well, that was kind of crap. And then we go to where Roby recommended, and it was like off the charts incredible. And he he knows his country inside and out, and he's been in tourism for years. And
local knowledge.
Yeah, local knowledge is key.
You actually can't beat it, can you, really?
No. So if you want to go, and he actually has his own sailboat, so he has an opportunity to do a sailing portion for however many days. So he'll build itineraries where he's with people from start to finish. And they do some land, they do some in hotels, they do some on his sailboat. And so he is like the one and only where you could actually go less than a week on the water, which I would prefer. A week on the water for me would be a little too much.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, tell us, when's the best time of year to go to Croatia? Because, like, obviously it depends on what you're going for. Like, it depends on the experience that you're looking for. But can you talk us through different seasons?
Yeah, for sure. So their tourism time is from about mid-May through the end of September. And if you're going at that beginning part of May, you have to be aware of the fact that the water isn't as warm because they're coming off of winter. And so it's not, if you're wanting to be in the water a lot, I would not go that early. July and August are very hot. Maybe you Aussies are a little bit more comfortable with that than us, but it's very hot. September is kind of the sweet spot. End of September is probably better for like lower tourism a little bit, but you can obviously go year round. However, Roby suggests, he says most businesses shut down like mid-October. So especially if you're going to some of those islands, a lot of those restaurants and stuff and the local shops are going to close. So your experience is going to be different if you go in that like November through April time, but it's possible. But I would say the sweet spots would be May or early June if you're not set on being, like, if you're flexible with the water temperature, and then September.
Yeah. We did lose you there for a minute.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I think we just missed the part about, you were saying that the restaurants on the islands closed down.
Yeah. So they closed down around mid to late October. And so if you want to go November through April, you are going to have some limitations.
Yeah.
But then you lose the people.
Yeah.
You lose the crowd. So
yeah. You're probably also not going to be out on the water so much at that time of year.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So it depends what the experience is that you're after.
What you're there for. But July and August are their peak tourism seasons and also the hottest. So I would try to avoid those probably.
Yeah. Okay, so another question I want to ask you is, like, we kind of know roughly what Croatia is known for, but are there any hidden gems, or are there any activities or excursions or things that you can do there that people don't necessarily know about or wouldn't expect?
I think I kind of already touched on it with Stone. I
Yeah.
think that is just kind of like the hidden, especially since it's so accessible from Dubrovnik.
Yeah.
It's so
So
easy
you
to
can
do a
do it
day
in a
trip
day.
there. Yeah, and if you want to do the wine country, you can. If you don't and you want to do the walls, you can do the walls there. And the walls there are cheaper than doing the walls in Dubrovnik. And
Yeah.
like, so you can still have that experience. You can be on the water in the peninsula. And it's a tiny little town. It's like a 3-street town, but it's super cute, and there's just so much history to there. So
Yeah.
that area is kind of gorgeous. The other thing too is a lot of times people will take the passenger ferry from Split to Dubrovnik to get themselves transported. But doing the drive is actually, it's gorgeous. So
Yeah.
we did that drive last summer, and you stop in Stone on the way.
Yeah.
And so it's a different side of Croatia. There's this really cool part where you go over this crazy long bridge, and it's because Bosnia, when they were settling their country lines, Herzog and Bosnia, I got scolded for just calling it Bosnia. They needed access to the water, and so they needed a port. And so their country comes into this little like section, and it splits Croatia. So they built this crazy long bridge to go around that section, and it's neat. It's just neat.
Yeah.
And it was neat too, like learning about that history and why you have this big crazy bridge that curves so that you can get around the country.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's cool.
And cool.
Yeah, exactly. Weird and cool.
One of those things that you've got to see.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I still have more questions, but I want to talk about, well, actually, no, I will ask you about this before we talk about your trip, because I'm excited to hear it again. And I'm sure other people will be excited, because I think it is actually good to hear and to understand what people do. Like, for example, this is something that you do for your job. So how it's interesting to know how people have gone about planning an itinerary for a trip. But also, you never know. There could be somebody out there who wants to come. And that would be amazing.
Awesome. I do have a couple spots left.
Yeah, cool.
I'll maybe give you guys a hookup because you're Erin's people. We can give you a discount.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we'll hear about that in a minute. But how, like, you talked about Italy being close by. I'm just thinking in terms of, like, how do you get there? You can obviously fly into Zagreb, Split, Dubrovnik, but you can also get a ferry from Italy. I know that because I've done that. There's a couple of ports that you can get ferries into. Is it also somewhere you can train into? Like, can you train into Zagreb? Do you know?
What do you mean by train into? Oh, take a train.
Sorry.
I thought we were having an Australian English language issue here.
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing, they don't have a lot of trains, so that is a little bit challenging. But the flights around Europe, they have some like budget airlines that I was actually just looking at some, and Rome to Split was like $52.
Yeah.
So for you, that's maybe 75 or something. But so I think that's probably one of the most affordable ways. Like, if you can find a cheaper flight to a different European city and then take your inner Europe flight there.
When I was looking at my flights to come, I was dreaming, really, and thinking, oh, maybe I can just have a few extra days and that'll be lovely. I'll fly into Rome, and then I'll get the train across Rome and get the ferry, and because that actually worked out to be a whole lot cheaper to fly into Rome and do it that way. But I'm actually flying into Helsinki, which I have found, because I am a Qantas points collector, and so we fly with Qantas points. That is one of the best places I have found to access Europe, is to actually fly to Helsinki. And I've probably only stumbled upon that because I obviously specialize in travel to Lapland, that I'm doing that. But yeah, Helsinki, it's cost me less than 400 Australian dollars return with Qantas points. And yeah, it's probably about 120,000 Qantas points return, which is amazing, Melbourne to Helsinki. And then
that is amazing.
The domestic flights within Europe are always more expensive because I can't use my points.
Yeah, but they're actually those are cheaper than domestic in America. I know that much.
But there's lots of ways that you can get in, like
and if you look on Google Flights, London, and you just you search your airport to Europe and you don't select a specific city in Europe, it'll pop up all of the different places.
Yeah.
And if there's a different spot that's significantly cheaper too, and then I'm flying into Dublin actually, because I was able to get a really cheap flight from Dubrovnik back to Dublin. And so even though Dublin is so much further north, it was really inexpensive to fly between Dublin and Croatia, just like you found between Finland and Croatia.
Yeah.
So you can get creative for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so tell us about your trip. Tell us about the vibe, the itinerary, who it's for, all the things.
All right. The vibe is play and connect and just find a way, I think, to get back to yourself. I think we as women, and if we're moms or in working, we just life in general, we get caught up in life and do all the things. And I truly believe that women don't take enough time to care for themselves. Or they feel it's selfish to do so. So I hate the phrase, I don't know if this goes around Australia, but people say that self-care is taking a bath. And I'm like, no, you should shower or bathe regularly anyways. That's not self-care. So this is just an opportunity for women to come together, to connect, and to explore just truly in a different experience, a different part of the country, and just come together. So I have based the trip primarily between Split and Dubrovnik, and we're going to have all sorts of variety. We're going to have time visiting the old towns. We're going to have time on the water. We're going to have time on several of the different islands. We'll do some walking tours with our tour guide in Split and Stone and Dubrovnik. There's an optional river canyoning. That's actually, I didn't talk about the rivers there. They have some gorgeous rivers. So river canyoning, you get in wetsuits and you kind of go down the river. We're doing the beginner friendly version. So I'm excited about that. We'll have
and you go down waterfalls and that sort of thing.
A little bit. We're doing the beginner. We're not totally rappelling down from large heights or anything, which some people do. But so it's going to be a little bit of mix of everything. Our last day is we have this incredible home on, literally right on the Adriatic Sea, and it's got different levels. The bottom level it's got a small wall and a ladder that goes straight down into the water, and then a whole bunch of lounge chairs to relax. And it's a private vacation rental, so it's just for our group, which will be amazing. And so if people want to just relax and recharge on that last day, they can do that. If they want to go back into Dubrovnik or go to Lokrum Island, where the Game of Thrones was recorded quite a bit, they can do that. If you want to do a half and half, however, whatever it means to you to have your last day how you want it. So it's gonna be a nice mix of everything. And Erin and I will be there, and it'll be so fun.
I know.
And the group of ladies that I have is incredible. So, and there's just a few spots left.
Awesome. That's very exciting. I was going to ask you something about how many days did you say it was? How many nights?
Oh gosh. So it starts on Saturday the 5th. and it
Yeah.
ends on Sunday the 13th. So
Yeah.
8 days.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
okay, water, that's what I was
9
going to ask
days.
you. So
Yes.
we're not sailing, but tell us about your water experiences.
Yeah. So, and here's actually, you had asked about how people plan. So the way I plan, and especially how I planned this trip, is to have kind of a wave of like that first day, everyone's just kind of arriving at their different times and we're meeting everybody. Day 2, we're going to be doing a river canyoning, a walking tour, things to be outside and stay awake so that you can get through the jet lag a little bit better. We'll have our welcome dinner. The next day, we are going to take a small ferry over to Hvar, which is one of the popular islands. I think Prince Harry or somebody, that's his vacation spot. And
Right.
so that will be, so we'll have a day over there. They have water taxis. And so we can go to several of the other smaller beaches and stuff from Hvar. So that's one day on the water. We're also going to have a day where we are doing like a jet speedboat tour, and we'll island hop amongst a few of the Elefiti Islands. So if you Google the Elefiti Islands, there's lots and lots and lots of them. So we'll island hop to about 3 or 4 of the kind of hidden secret gems.
Nice.
So yeah, so we'll have, and then that last day, well, in our last 4 nights, I guess, yeah, we're 8 nights. So we're 8 nights or 4 nights in Split, 4 nights in Dubrovnik. Those last 4 nights we're in that home where we're right on the water. And so you can wake up early in the morning and go dip in the ocean if you want, or do it before you go to bed, or
Oh,
however.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, however you want to be in the water.
Yeah. Dreamy. Yeah. So good.
Yes.
Love it. Okay. All right. So I talk about this often, like group travel. So this is kind of a non-Croatia question, but I think that it's I think it's good for people to hear from other people who are doing similar things or have had similar experience with like women's group trips and travel, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
For someone who's never done anything like this before, who's never joined a group trip, or who you know has been sitting on the sidelines sort of going, oh, I want to, what would you say to them, and what sort of experience do you think that they would have if they were to come on your group trip or another group trip, for example?
Yeah, I think the beauty of group trips is you have such a like range of people, and you can have people of so many different walks of life and differences, and yet it's the travel that connects you and brings you together. And I think that's the beauty of travel in general, is connection. Like we're in a world where we're stuck on our phones and we're behind our computers, and we don't have as many opportunities to connect and meet new people. And I think like look at this, like our friendship started from a group trip, and never in my life did I think I'd be talking daily with someone all the way in Australia.
Yeah.
But I think it's the connection piece, because you connect through shared experiences. And that's the part. I remember being so nervous the first time I did a group trip, because I was like, what if I don't like anybody? What if it's weird? What if it's awkward? And everybody is in the exact same position as you, and everybody is coming to have the shared experience. And I think that right there just unifies people. So
yeah,
I say if you're even kind of contemplating it, just do it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. You'll be glad that you said yes.
Yeah. And I think it is also that you never know unless you give it a go. Like
exactly. Yeah. And I not to toot our own horn, but I know how much like work and planning both you and I put into our group trips, and we make sure that they are ideal and can accommodate anyone and make everyone feel connected and feel like they belong there.
Yeah. And I have said that to people before in terms of, like, what if there is that one person? And I think as the host or the person organizing it, it is our job to make sure that, everyone has a place in the trip or on the trip.
Yeah.
And place and space as well. Like, I think the ability to read the room and know when people need is
for
pretty
sure
important too. And so on that, like, I know you talked about the final day in Dubrovnik, where there's a bit of time for people to choose what they want to do and spend their final day however they want to spend their day. Is there downtime in your trip where people can, if they want to go off and do their own thing or have some time out? Like, is that part of your itinerary?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I always say that, like, this is your trip. Like, you make it how you want to. I hosted a trip last year in Switzerland, and I had a very high adventure person, and she wanted to do a couple of high adventure experiences that were not in our trip. And she just went off and did them and then came back and joined us when she was finished. And so this is your trip, so you can make it what you want to make it. And I'll have suggestions if you want to do other things. Roby would have tons of suggestions, and he would even have opportunities possibly to because he's not with us every day, but in some of those days he's not with us, he could take people somewhere else too if there was something.
Yeah.
And
it's also totally okay to, like, in Dubrovnik, go, you know what, I'm opting out and I'm just going to sit on that beautiful beach and read a book.
Exactly. Because if that's what is going to recharge you. And I don't, for me, the first time I did a group trip, I was like, this is, because I've always been the travel planner, and it's a lot of work and it's exhausting. And it was truly just like, oh, I just have to follow along. Like, I'll be sending you a message every night before you go to bed saying, hey, have this ready for tomorrow. Here's what we're doing. And,
you just do what you're told.
Yeah, you do. And it's amazing. There's no mental load. It's amazing.
Yeah. Can you tell us what is included in your trip? Like, so people pay to come, what's included?
Yeah, so what is included are the tours that we're doing and the excursions that we're doing, except for the oyster excursion is an optional upgrade, because I know not everyone's gonna want oysters, as well as the river canyoning. That's also an optional upgrade. And then other than that, it's like all the transportation. Once you arrive, you are in charge of your own flights, but once you arrive, all the transportation, all of the accommodations, all of your breakfasts, to like a welcome dinner and then a farewell dinner. And then for like lunches, and there is one lunch as well, like a traditional lunch when we go to the national park, on a little local like farm thing, which will be fun. But other than that, like, it would be your personal expenses to get there, your souvenirs. Those things are what you would need to cover yourself. Yeah.
Awesome. And travel insurance, I would say you and I are both pretty
yes, we're very passionate about it. Saved both of our bacons.
Yes, it has, on multiple occasions. So tell me, in terms of the activities, like, is there anything that goes outside just like your regular travel insurance, or like the canyoning? Is that considered an extreme activity, or more adventurous activity?
I
know the policy is probably different.
And that's the thing, you need to check the policy that you're purchasing. And if I would call specifically about the river canyoning, because here in America with the companies I use, that is considered an extreme sport, but I have a company here that can add that on as an optional upgrade for really cheap. So but so you want to make sure you understand what your policy is and where it covers you and where it doesn't, so that you can either figure a way to fill in the gap or know where you're taking risk. Good one. And you would like everyone to have travel insurance?
on your trip?
I actually require travel insurance on my trip.
Yeah.
So especially for the medical portion, because at least here in the States, our health insurance in the United States will not cover us internationally. So that is a vital piece there. I'm not sure what it's like for you guys.
Well, I would never travel. We've had too many. I would never travel without it. We've had far too many experiences.
Yeah. Didn't you have one that covered like $20,000 or something?
Yep, 22,000. I think we got back. Yep. And we got flown home business class, and that was fine for me because I wasn't the sick one, so it was lovely. Got to enjoy all the good stuff. No, we were definitely, it's not worth the risk.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I could not I could not pay. Yeah.
No, not at all. Okay, tell me, is there anything else that you want to share about Croatia in terms of it being a destination, or your trip? Actually, you said you were going to offer people something. Have you got something to offer?
Yes, I will offer you.
Is there anything else about Croatia that you think people should know that we haven't?
I would just say, if you have an inkling, just Google it. If you like the images, if you're a Game of Thrones person, you're gonna like it. You're gonna love the country. I can't honestly find anything negative to say about it. Unfortunately, other countries, there's great pros, but there's also large cons, and I cannot find any big cons to Croatia personally. So I will send you, because trying to convert, I can't convert on the fly between US and Australian, but I will send you a discount code. Does that work? I'll give you a nice good, my best discount I can possibly give you, because I know that you guys have to come a little bit extra. So I will charge you. I will charge you less since you have to come a little bit farther.
Well, that sounds amazing. That sounds a deal that we'll be chasing.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, okay, we're going to finish off. I like to do this with people I interview just for fun. So these are non-Croatia questions. These are travel questions. All right. First one. If you could be teleported to any place in the world right now, where would you go and why?
Well, I've never been, and it's really cold here today. So I would love to go to Bora Bora.
Oh, nice.
I've heard it's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to Bora Bora too. That is not where I thought you'd say. I don't know where I thought you'd say, but no.
I don't know. Yeah. I've never been there, but that's like very high on my bucket list. But
nice.
Also very far and very expensive. So
yes, correct. Yep. Okay, your favorite mode of transport when traveling?
That's a tricky one. Kind of like trains.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, that's not like a common thing in America. So it's like a fun adventure in and of itself for us.
Yeah. One of the best train trips I have done was in Peru, which I've included in my trip. And it is like literally every corner we turned, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm on another planet. This is so cool.
Yeah.
I do love a train. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What is one item you never travel without?
Okay, these are gonna sound so like
I know, I was about to say, don't give me boring travel safety things.
No, it's not a travel safety
Have you got
thing.
a fun one?
One I just got a new phone, so I need to switch, but it's like got a little tab that comes out of here, and then you have this like lanyard that you can hook your phone to you. And one, I love that it just, I don't know, traveling with kids, like I don't have to worry about sticking it in a pocket or where, like it's always right there. So I love that. And because I take pictures constantly with my phone, it's nice to just have it, and I don't have to worry if I drop it because it's connected to me. So I love that component. And then the other thing I'm in love with, there are these straps that like you can secure another bag on top of your like rolling suitcase, and it holds it on there like really firm. And so
that does sound good.
Yeah.
That sounds when we came back from Finland over the holidays, we had lots of luggage, and we had a small bag on top of our suitcase, like our rolling suitcase, and it just kept falling off. And I was thinking, when you were saying that, I'm like, we really needed those then, because
and they're super cheap, and they just like, they're really like, it's kind of like a bungee cord almost, but it's like a double strap, and it's so easy to just throw on, and you can accommodate it for any size bag, and it just keeps it secure.
Good one. Okay, I like it. So I thought you were going to say something about like, and I'm not having a laugh, because you are the queen of travel safety and you have all the gadgets. But I was thinking you were going to say something about like your door wedge, the wedge thing that you put on your door.
Okay. Yeah. The funny thing about that, we do travel with that, because in America that is an issue where people try to like break into the hotel rooms, which still come to America. But so I have this little door lock, and it wedges under the door. I know, right? Come to America. It has this door lock. So when we were in Croatia, when we were flying out and had to go back through security, that item got flagged, and they pulled it out, and they were like, and it was this woman, security agent. She's like, "What is this?" And I said, "Oh, it's for like a door lock, so that you can lock the room for your hotel." And she said, "Why do you need that?" And I was like, "Well, for safety, so people can't break into your hotel." And she goes, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "From America." And she goes, "That you don't need this here. You will never need this here." And I said, "Well, sadly, we need this in America." And she's like, "I am so sorry for you." Like, but she was mind boggled that we would need to ever even consider that.
Yeah, it is a bit frightening, but there's some very cool places in the States.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I like the door lock, because I can just put it there, and then I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry, and I can just have peace of mind. There's some that have alarms, and I refuse to do that, because if someone's trying to get into my room while I'm sleeping, I don't want to know.
Yeah,
so
correct.
I don't want one with an alarm that's going to go off.
Yeah. And what are you going to achieve? Like, all you're going to do is be terrified and
not go back to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yes, I'm a big travel safety person, but I love my nerdy little. Yeah. And actually, it's not nerdy, because all of the Europeans wear their phone on them, like that, like on a lanyard. So it's cool there.
Well, then it can be cool for you too.
Yes.
All right. Okay, what is your favorite thing to do on every trip?
Meet people. I like to talk to locals. My husband's the expert at that. He'll make best friends wherever he goes. And my husband has a saying that says, I'm going to butcher it, but something like, "You're the same person you were yesterday, except for the places you go and the people you meet."
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And
that's really good.
So I love seeing how they live and talking to people and just seeing what real life is like. Yeah.
Cool. That's a good one. Okay. Which destination should be on every person's list of places to go?
Switzerland. Or Norway. Or Finland. Sorry, I'm not helpful here.
Yeah, I know. There's too many places.
Yeah, and Croatia. I will have to say Croatia too.
Yeah. Too many places, right? And all the other places that we haven't been yet.
Yeah, and I was only giving you ones that I've been to. I'm sure there are plenty that, plenty.
Yeah.
I just haven't been to all of them yet.
Have you traveled much of the States?
Yes. Yeah.
Out of all the places you've been, where would you, I'm just throwing in a question here. I'm interested to know which state you would recommend people go to.
Okay, so here's a not well-traveled state probably for out-of-country people, but I would say Portland, Oregon. It's a beautiful city. It's right on a river, and like the downtown area is right on the river. There's lots of bridges, but then within an hour of Portland, you can be on the Oregon coast, which is some of the most beautiful coastline in the whole West Coast. You can be at waterfalls, you can be in the mountains, you can be hiking volcanoes. You can do, there's good, and it's very green. So the Pacific Northwest is very green. There's lots of fir trees. It's beautiful. It is a little rainy, so gotta pick your month wisely. But that is probably an underrated.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't even know that it would be somewhere I would have necessarily even contemplated going.
Yeah. And so it's kind of an underrated destination. San Francisco is a very famous one. It's kind of gotten overrun with like they have a big homelessness like issue there currently, so it's not as comfortable, I guess I'd say, to go there, but it does also have a lot of unique features as well. But
yeah,
probably give you your sleeper one there of Portland, Oregon. People are, really?
Yeah, no, I love it. I love learning about places like those underrated places, because they often have a lot more to offer than what you may think.
Yeah, and the food in Portland is also incredible.
Okay.
Actually, another one that is maybe a little bit underrated is Utah.
Yeah.
Utah has incredible geography. They have the Red Rocks that they have all the different national parks down there that are gorgeous in southern Utah. And then you have, like, in the Salt Lake City, Park City area, some of the best mountains and skiing in the country.
Yep. Well, we've
it's very expensive to ski there, but
in Utah, and that I'd go back.
Yeah,
I would go back time and time again.
It's gorgeous.
I absolutely need to go back and hike more, because we had the kids and they weren't overly keen.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful national parks.
Yeah, and if you go there in like March, April, they have gorgeous weather, and it's not quite the high, like summertime here is more the high season for travel, but it's also really hot down there in the summer. But
we were there December, January, and it was cold, but it was beautiful, like just beautiful.
Yeah. Sometimes they get a little dusting of snow down in southern Utah, and it's the contrast of the snow with the red, like it's amazing.
Stunning.
Yeah.
All right, well, we digressed from Croatia, but that was fun. It's always fun to hear where people would travel, and from other places, other parts of the world, because as we've talked about, so many places to see, so many things to do.
True.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. I've loved hearing more about Croatia. I'm so excited to go, and I hope that other people are inspired to visit Croatia, either independently or with their families, or just jump on a tour. Come with us in September this year. Thank you for the discount offer too. So
you're welcome.
So should people reach out to me, or should people reach out to you? What's going to be best?
Either one. They're probably more familiar with you, so I can send you my link to like look at all the information and to sign up, and I'll send you a special code.
Okay.
So you can ignore the pricing.
I'll put that in the post.
Perfect. Yeah, ignore the pricing on the link, and I will send you a discount that's better than the pricing.
Ooh, nice. Thank you.
No problem.
Pays to be Aussie, hey?
I know, right? Selfishly, I'd love to have some Aussies on there. That'd be
that'd be fun. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you. And
thank you.
I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yes, sounds good. Thanks, Erin.
All right. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.